Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, the man of many hats, of much information. I'm here to help you find out more about you. I am a man of many hats. There's one, the veteran's official hat with the Skippy badge. We've got the business hat, boom, for our bush. The back flap is used for your nuts. And we've got the surf hat. Underneath is a haircut that has been administered by my daughter, and I won't show you that Ellen DeGeneres hairstyle that lies beneath. Guys and gals, great to have you here. We've even got Navy representing down there as well as some officers, some Army Reserves, some civilians, from ladies, from men, and some parents of our latest soldiers to enlist. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel, Aussie Channel Down Under, as this veteran unpacks information for you that's all about not just the series SAS Australia, Season 2, Episode 1 and 2, Ego and Courage. Why would you do it? But also, it's about you. I'm 50 years old. Hold up the bat, Don Bradman, but don't take your feet off the ground. That's for when you score 100. I'm here to let you know that this series is more than just a soap opera. It's not even a show. Because to those that are in it, the effects are going to be irreversible. What do I mean? We're going to explain it. Lauren, sorry I don't have time for a number 2 today, because in less than an hour, the third episode starts. We're going to see people submerged in vehicles in the water. When would that happen? In a series of Flipper? No, it's called Hewitt, Helicopter Underwater Escape Training. It deals with the third phobia. We've dealt with claustrophobia. We've dealt with heights. And let's take it from the start. So guys and gals, it is great to have you here. Stevie Webb, Nicole King, King of Queens. I've sent you your surprise gift. It's in the mail right now. Lauren is here, helps me through everything we ever do, but tonight I just don't have the time. Joseph's Fitness, good to have you here, mate. We've got Callum, we've got Lauren, we've got Daz. We've got all the usual savages here. Carl P getting nothing but good news, and Daz setting up a farm. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about celebrities, sportsmen. Why would they do this show for starters? We'll put this up here just to jog your memory. This is the contestants for this year. Why would you do it? To tell you the truth, I don't know. But I'll try to unpack that a little bit for you while you start to think, who do you know that's in this murderer's row of applicants for Season 2? Think of 3. And you'll put them in comments later so that you can look back there and see how accurate you were. Remembering, there isn't someone that comes first in this. There is those that complete and there's those that quit, and nothing in between. Would you pass these challenges, or wouldn't you? When you put a uniform on, you turn into a different person. Except for that policewoman that didn't help a partner, that just let her buddy get her ass kicked in Australia. I don't know what's going on there, but someone needs to start looking at a new job, I reckon. So guys and girls, this is all about pressure. We've got contestants. We've got people that are sportsmen. We've got people that are celebrities. We've got chefs. We've got a mixture of all of the above. Guys and gals, got a headache anyway. I'm not sure what's going on there. The nostalgia of their position, the hero complex, the celebrity that they have, that they carry with them, the fans that they have. Are they on this show because they want to rise from the ashes, to turn the back on who they used to be? Is it a second shot of relevance? Is this as them going through what I would imagine to be a rolling rehabilitation, to be able to have a platform, a voice, to operate, to scrub the slate clean, to be treated like a normal human being, to see what they're capable of in this second life? Sadly, the vast majority of these people will quit, will show emotion and show a side of themselves to the public that they probably never wanted to show. A little bit of humility, is one thing, but to show yourself completely stripped back is another, and you can't take that back. And so I hope none of them actually do something that affects them in the long run, because unfortunately, I believe it will. When you go for SASR, the Special Air Service Regiment selection after doing a barrier, if you do a barrier, or you go straight to the Carter course that you do in Western Australia or wherever they take you to, you've got to remember that you're surrounded by people that know the language of weapons, know the language of tactics, know the language of military, speak the language, understand back to front how to hunt human beings. And even then, there is such a small percentage that actually get chosen. The rest, thank you for training for 6 to 12 months on top of all of the Crown-funded, tax-funded training that you've done to get you to here. But John West rejects 90% of those that would already be, absolutely goal-getters amongst any other crowd. They would. So what happens? When you turn up to this show, the very first thing that happens is they pretend they don't know you. They know who you are when you're a celebrity. They absolutely know. They know your pitfalls, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, but they will not worship your celebrity because they've achieved more in their life than you have. It may not be monetary, but they have definitely lived their lives. Probably a lot more than any of these contestants ever have, and have real medals, not just gold medals, silver and bronze, which is fantastic. I take my hat off to them. But you cannot compare that to the medals of service where the prize is actually getting home alive. Anyway, so they're going to take your name off you. They're going to give you a number. The reason they give you a number is so that you're not a human. They can strip you back. It's easier to yell at a number than what it is to yell at a human. They will take away your character, your personality, and let that re-evolve. From there, what they do is they will give you tasks that once again say, we do not care who you are. Everyone take your clothes off. But there's girls here. Don't give a shit. I'm not looking at you. I'm not checking you out. Do you think you're special? Are you not up to the standard already? If you want to quit, take your number off. All it is a simple anti-clockwise move and you're out of the show. Clothes are still on. Get on the cold truck. See you later. That simple. So there's your number. From there, what they're going to do is they're going to make a duty student. The duty student gets, and this stage it was number 1, okay, they become middle management. They become the voice of all of these people. So familiarity is not trying to be achieved by the students to try and give them some sort of control over the game. So they only speak to number 1. And then number 1 speaks to the staff and normally gets told, go away. But number 1 also becomes accountable for when the team doesn't turn up. And then number 1 can get singled out and held responsible for the deeds of the herd. We get punished as a herd because we have to fight as a herd. We have to rely on each other. And if we fail, then we get punished as a herd because the game is not over until the last person crosses the finish line. That's what it's all about. Get over there, team. I'm not trying to be rude, but we're on the clock at the moment. I hope you're all watching this tonight, episode 3. Then what they do is they take you to Spartan accommodation where everyone is sharing the shitters that you have to clean yourself, that the food is going to be just enough to keep you hungry, okay, that you will be probably a little bit cold as well, that there'll be no certainty to anything, that you are not allowed to leave. There is nowhere where you can go and hide. You must bond as a group by being in a situation that you can't escape from, where you have to start to trust each other, where egos have no place. So you can create your own pecking order, which we would call leadership. That will come out where everyone is the same rank. So we've got the people behind us. Put your spectacles on, Kaz. Explain who your 3 people's choice is for this show. Kobe Abaddon, bra boy, Maroubra lad. If you want to punch out with this guy, then go to the, if they still go to, what's it called? The Coogee Bay Hotel, you'll find them there. Bonnie Anderson, don't know who you are. Sam Burgess, fantastic effort last night in Courage episode. Amazing. Don't know how he did it, actually. Footballer, gave it all out in his confession time. We'll talk about it in a moment. Isabel Cornish, Children of the Cornish. Not exactly sure who she is. Okay, but she done a great job last night too. Brian Edelston made it for 6 hours, out of there. Claims to be mentally strong, quit in 6 hours. We've got Dan Ewing, He's one of the bad boys of Home and Away. So far, he's made himself look like a bit of a dickhead, I think. Manu is... I love the guy. Yeah, Master Chef. Okay, big cuddly bear. I'm not sure how he's going to go, but he'll quit. Erin Holland already quit. She was a good-looking gal. She was a model. Didn't come up to the cut last night. I don't like the way she actually got kicked off the show. But she'd cheated a couple of times, not followed directions, and then ultimately was given a harder task, didn't come up to it, gave her armband up. Emma Hussar, where there's smoke, there's fire. She claimed to be the complete victim in all of this as a politician last night. Thinks she's full of shit. Reckons that she can't, probably prescribes herself a lot of the conditions she supposedly got. Jet Kenny, one of Lisa Kenny and Grant Kenny's son, looks like a legend, looks like a Viking. I reckon he's going to do pretty well in the show. Alicia Mollick done a fantastic job in the first episode, owning one of her mistakes. Really got a bit of a salute from myself. Pete Murray looks completely out of his skin in this series, and I reckon he doesn't want to be there. Jessica Perez, again, she's not going to last long. She'll be out of there quick sticks. Mark Philippoussis, former stud, bachelor, tennis player, doesn't look like he's going to make the complete cut. He's actually really looking at his age at the moment. Yana Pittman, okay, was a runner, now she's a doctor. Again, don't think she's going to last too much longer. She's a pretty heavy girl, and some of these events are going to get pretty tough for her. Kerry Pottast, I believe she's a volleyball player. We've got Heath Shaw. I think he's going to be just the silent grey man through this series. And we've got John. I reckon he's going to do a great job too. But my 3 picks for the show, for this one, is going to be Kobe as number 1. I think that Dan and Sam are going to be very close to each other. I think Sam's shoulder might end up giving out on him before he does. And Dan, I reckon, despite the fact that he's rubbing me up the wrong way with his jacket, like Mark Wales, used to work with him. He was on Survivor 2, ex-SASR guy. I don't know, he's rubbing me up the wrong way doing yoga and this weirdo tofu-eating shit. He's just going to get attention to himself, sucking up to the staff as well. Not a fan. So they go into the accommodation. The toilets are nothing unusual for guys across the globe. That's what it's like in men's toilets. So the first test we had to do was the tear gas. Guys and gals, when you join the army, you will do tear gas. It is to take you out of your comfort zone. It is to see if you listen to instruction. It is to see if you can handle stress in front of the faces of the staff. It ain't easy. It really hurts. It doesn't make you tough if you can handle it and weak if you can't. CS gas is one of those things that affects everyone differently. Take a breath before you take your mask off, and then you breathe like this and keep blowing out. Because if you take one deep breath like most of these bloody idiots did, you're going to get your lungs just full of the crystals, and it'll burn like hell. And I'm telling you, team, it hurts. It really, really hurts. To the point I'm wondering how strong it was, because when you do it at military strength, mate, your eyes snap shut like a Jewish person's wallet. It's, Daz, Jay, all good on my end, mate. Zane's going well there. Tofu eating. Luke, the force is with him. My 3 are Sam, Jet, and Kobe. I like your choices. I do like your choice. I reckon Kobe is the sort of guy, Ant Middleton, you've got to be real careful of, because if you get in his face and make it too personal, you might get a bit of nutsu cow from a good Australian Ned Kelly loving beach boy. Right. So the tear gas. Okay, everyone did pretty well there. That was a conditioner. That was just to give them a bit of a punch in the nose to let them know you're not in Kansas now, Dorothy. From there, they went and saw their accommodation. They had to take their clothes off, all of them off. And that apparently by the social media, people weren't happy that they all got treated the same, wanted special treatment. How dare you get the ladies to take their clothes off? No one was trying to look at these middle-aged people in a sex-orientated kind of way. We had one of the lasses, she was in the papers or in the tabloids today, they called them injuries. You go, these are called bruises. This is what happens when you live life, team. Okay? Miss Holland, Erin Holland, I believe her name is. Okay, that's normal. That's what happens. Okay, so the helicopter, physical strength, well, they all did pretty well there. You know, it's not an easy gig. You know, people taught a lesson. They got taught not to be cheery for each other. Don't clap and jump up and down and act like civilians, you know, when people have achieved the mission. Because ultimately, every one of these missions, if you don't succeed it, you would have died. That's what it means. You either pass it or you would have died. Okay, because there wouldn't have been a rope necessarily attached to you. All right, you're given a task. You can't, once you've got the uniform on, when you're doing it as a job, you can't tap out and say no. You have to do it. You have to meet mission success on every single thing you ever do. You get paid. Righto. And the reason why they make this training hard, physically, psychologically, emotionally, is because they can't afford for you to drop the cake when it's actually time to wear the uniform, wear the sandy beret, and represent the Special Air Service Regiment on hostile terrain. Okay, like anything, when there's a punishment, it's normally a beasting. You know, beasting, not beasting. And what that's about is everyone suffering for one individual. I believe in this. This is deliberately caused to make someone quit. It worked. We saw Miss Holland, okay, Erin Holland, she fell out first. She was never going to be able to lift Mr. Ewing, Sam Ewing, okay, but she shouldn't have cheated. She should have just done what she was told to do like the rest of them did. And that would happen on the Carter course too. There will always be, sometimes there'll be things where they will do a physical activity and say, we're going to keep going until someone quits. Right? John is a monster. Which one's John? Joshua Fawns, kickboxer. Nicole King, Robert will so much snot. Yeah, man. You know, if you have the flu, people go, oh, there's no cure. You go, you know what? CS gas is the cure for the cold, for the flu, probably for COVID too. 6-3 Yankee. We've got a sniper in the house. Hey, Keely. Robbie, hands of colour there. Carl P, welcome to the tradie life. Cuts and bruise every day. Right on. Daz, the herd. Carl, ain't that the truth? Lauren, please leave a thumbs up. Thank you. Oliver, love your name, mate. Oliver, please, sir, can I have some more? Don't say that to the Carter staff. It doesn't take long once you leave the tent, a couple of minutes to not hate it. Not sure what that's. Desert Wolf. If you get new kit and do the drills properly, you get very little effect until they make you take the mask off and spell your name. And that's what they'll do. The first time you go in, they'll make you go in with all of your respirator on, all of your equipment, and then simply what it is you will have potentially 10, 15, 20 people, you know, standing inside the gas chamber, tent, building, and the tabs will go in. You'll see, you'll be able to feel it around your neck, okay? And then what they say is, we're going to tell you, take your mask off, and we're going to ask you questions. And they will block your exit. You know, we're going to ask your name, your regimental number, okay? And then they might ask you your dog's name, girlfriend's name, depending if they like you or not. If they don't like you, they'll ask you questions forever, make you suffer. But then they'll wait until you are suffering from the effects when they see the eyes snap shut, okay, like a husband's wallet, okay, from a thirsty wife on payday, and then they'll kick you out the door and then watch you suffer. Right. So why would they do it? This show, these contestants. Sorry, let me put this on in the background. So I'll just have that as a, I'll just have this playing in the background so you can see that. Just something to keep watching. There'll be deliberately no sound there, team. Brie Edelston didn't last long, but that's fine. Okay, I quite liked her. She went on there with a fantastic attitude. You know, she wasn't bad at all. Sam Burgess. They end up doing a BOZ. Now, a BOZ is when they call everyone in the other staff so that everyone can make sure that they've seen My Mate Looks Like a Fat Kangaroo, Mark Zamp, Luke Hutchins, and Dash. And what they'll do is they'll put the names up, and then from everyone's observations, what did you think of this character? So no one misses an observation that they do on candidate 14. From there, this is called a BOZ is called a board of studies. You know, they do it in civilian areas too to ask how someone is going. What points is this person a green light? Are they an orange or are they a red? Above the standard or below standard? They worked out that Sam Burgess had a hard time in the tear gas tent. They pulled him in there and they spoke to him. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't mind reaching out to Sam because he looked really alone in this show. He admitted everything he's done, everything he's lost, and he never held anything back. And he's also got injuries as well as addiction problems. And this guy, I think, has got the right attitude. He was born with so many gifts. Probably had a line as long as the Great Wall of China of ladies that knew he was married, knew he had kids, that always tried to just peck at him until he said yes to one. He said yes, he got caught, lost everything. Lost his career, blew his shoulder. He's going to have physical pain for the rest of his life, emotional anguish to go with it, and also a tarnished look from his children on him as a father. We're not perfect, team. You're going to make mistakes in your life too, and when we look back, almost everyone has some form of regret. Sam Burgess showed it all, and I absolutely loved it. Someone who impressed me just as much was Alicia Molik. Now, she done the dickhead thing in the chopper, and the reason why I don't go too far into this is because I know you watch the episodes or you wouldn't be watching this. When she did the celebration, out of the helicopter once she achieved it, girl power, let's go, and then they made a drop off and then they punished everyone for it. She came in there, she owned it. She never tried to get away. She never tried to deflect. I was actually really impressed, and I hope she does well in this show because every single person that's on the cast of this show needs to stay on there as long as possible for this rolling rehabilitation to realise who they are. And when you watch this show, you should be able to look at this and go, dude, I would fail at this point. I can't do that. I couldn't do this. I can't do that. Well, guess what? You have to be able to do it. You can't say no. You can't quit. Put the uniform on. You become another person. You're not a civilian anymore. Bready cars become super bready cars. Becomes the tip of the hat Anzac. It's about more than you then. It's about the team. Yep. Okay. So Alicia Molik and Sam Burgess. Really good effort in the first episode, which was called Ego. And it was to the reverse deconstruction of ego. You're not a celebrity. You're not a sportsman here. You are who you are right now. We could say, ironically, this is do not blame the sins of the father or the mother being the actual person in their first life. They are here now to represent who they are now. So everything they do now, they'll be owned for. They know what these people have done in their past lives. They know exactly who they are. But they want you to tell them. They want to see how truthful you've been. And unfortunately, not everyone was truthful. And the problem is, this is in the court of opinion where people are going to watch this and they're going to fact find what you do, what you say, and they'll know when you are a fugazi, a fake diamond, etc. Tonight, apparently, is going to be very exciting because someone gets caught cheating. And apparently, it causes a hell of a lot of shit. So we move into the second episode, which was called Courage, and rightly so, because it covered two things that horribly scare me. One is heights. I fell off a cliff when I was 3 years old. Okay. The other one, and I landed on the sailor's favourite part of the body, right on my ass. And the other one is small spaces. And that is some version of PTSD from going through the School of Infantry in 1991, where they had 50 of us in storm water drains, crawling in there with dogs in there, absolutely shitting yourself, breathing carbon dioxide, knowing you cannot get out of there. There's no one that can save you if people freak, getting kicked in the face. It was horrible. And it has stuffed me up ever since, plus a few MRIs with busted shoulders. Anyway, put a thumbs up if you've ever failed an MRI because you panicked when you hit that ball to say, get me the hell out of here. Squeezing the Turkish ball sack. Let me out. Robbie Kent. Oliver. Alex, it's not a brigade. What brigade? Yep, make sure you sub. If you subscribe to the channel, then you can put comments down below. You might be watching on TV, I get it. Okay, so heights was this one. This one really, really impressed me because, one, I expected someone to quit. No one quit. Manu, you could tell, was absolutely scared of heights, so much so he probably keeps off the stock markets in case he has a good day. And okay, I'm a dickhead. He fell on his ass. When people started falling between the ladder on the trapezium, where it's all about listening to instruction, listening to what the DS say, moving beyond a phobia, because phobias can happen on a patrol, whether it be hanging out of a helo helicopter with the doors swung open, your rifle, like you will do if you're infantry, okay, out of this, and with your feet on the skids of a helicopter, and then it banks to the left and right, tack flying. You better not be scared of heights, because there's nothing you can do about it. All right, small spaces, yep, that can happen. Water, helos, you have to be able to do helicopter underwater escape training. They're going to visit that tonight. You do it as a group, not as an individual. If you are scared of water, if you can't swim well, if you're not confident in water, you're going to turn that water golden brown, wagon wheel, polly waffle. You won't enjoy it at all. I'm a diver, I'm a surfer, and I hated Hewitt. Yeah. Ant, get it over here, mate. Would they? Sometimes they would send a whole platoon to a posting like 6, for example. Yeah, but that's never good, Ant. That's never good, because it means you hang on, you go in there almost like a gang. You don't want to go on a posting with a platoon strength. High-rise heights, okay, we did that. Manu showed the most amount of courage on that, and I say that because I think he was the scaredest, and no one backed out. The tunnel, the claustrophobia event, to me, I would have been very close to calling it quits here. Not only did I have a busted shoulder, but when I watched the smallest gal going through there, she still had plenty of room when she was saying she can't go on. But that's okay. That's okay. This was designed by psychologists and SAS crew to be used as a stand during this event, because they know the fear that it gives to the strongest of people. I think they anticipated people would quit here. But it caused a second fear, and I'm going to explain that why. This is the first time I've seen the DS shit their pants. Why were they scared? Why was Ant Middleton? Why was he so nervous? I'll tell you why. They want Sam Burgess to stay in the show. And when the 60 kilo or 55 kilo girl was getting stuck in the pipe, and then Sam Burgess, 117 kilos with shoulder injury, had to climb through the same pipe, and he said, I'm stuck. They were shitting themselves that he was going to quit and be kicked off the show when they want him to stay on the show. And you could tell from the BOS they did with him, the Board of Studies, that they see a kindred spirit inside him, and they want him to stay on the show. So they looked nervous. They talked him into staying in that pipe and not giving up, and they gave him the instruction almost to roll on your back, keep going, don't quit, we want you. And that will in fact happen on real kata courses too, if they don't want you to pull out. So Sam Burgess done a magnificent job. 117 kilos, did not lose his shit. A lot of them did, but every single person made it through, and I'm more than impressed with every single one of them. Really, really surprised that no one quit. And when they had that water bottle on, just one more thing to gag and stop you from getting through that 25-metre ordeal of hell, like being born a second time. Disgusting. So the kick out. Erin Holland, gone. Bryn Edelston is gone. Right? Those two lasses. Right? It's going to happen. This whole show is about exposing people, causing people to tap out, say, I can't go on, quit. When you watch this show, you've got to ask yourself, where would you be in this show? And I tell you, there is so much more than what you're seeing. There is the food that they don't like, where you always feel hungry, always feel cold. This is in the Blue Mountains, maybe done in winter. They're going to go between phobias, emotion, physicality, sometimes combination of all. They are going to not let you know when you're going to get a full night's sleep. There is going to be some things you cannot pass. There is going to be invisible crimes that you have no chance of getting out of, that they will hold you responsible for. And then when in doubt, they will pull you in, they will ask you questions, and they will hold you accountable for your words. And if they find out you're lying, they will kick your ass like a bad habit. Ego, courage, control, aggression. temperature, okay? The temperature will be a stressor. The physical events will be an accumulative activity. The exercises, you will be sore from the first day. You will have little disagreements with each other. There'll be times when someone does something that will get the entire group punished. But that's all part of the game. And this is not a game show because, like we said, although it is a game show for us watching, the people that are actually in this event, in this show, SAS Channel 7 Australia Who Dares Wins, this will have lifelong ramifications for them. They'll be known for the rest of their life after this show as holy shit, you've aged badly. Holy shit, you quit early. Or what an amazing effort. There'll be, you're a dickhead in real life. The hero worship will fall away when you see these people like you are just people. Pitch yourself on this show. Pitch your family on this show. Picture your partner on this show. Would you still love your partner if you saw the weakest side of them? The tears, the complaining that I can't do it, them coming last. And I'm not talking about females. I'm talking about males, females alike. Would you want your partner to see you on this show? Would they still love you after it? When you join the army team, this is what it's like. This is what it's like. You will be exposed to things where sometimes you're flying, especially if you're Air Force, and sometimes you're falling. There'll be times when you can't do it and you need a little help from your friends, Beatles, to get you through there, to pass that mission, to make it to the next step, to put a physical hand on your shoulder and say, mate, you're not alone. And guess what? In civilian life, you're normally always alone. Yep. It's why psychology is doing so well as a business these days. Sage, do they drown-proof them like the SEALs? They won't drown-proof them like the SEALs. They might in this show, but they don't in the Australian Army. However, saying that, if you're going to be part of Townsville 3 Brigade, you will do Hewitt, helicopter underwater escape training inside a fuselage that rolls over, upside down, seatbelt on, eye patches on, depending on what level of advanced training you do. And then you need to make your way out once the helo has stopped underwater, upside down, and you've got to watch out where your boots go, etc., and don't hurt your friends. One person fails, you all go again. Just one person, because we're a herd. Battlefield 3, can I join the Australian military from New Zealand? You can. You can, mate. But you do have to be a resident, and that's quite difficult at the moment. Guys and gals, do you like this? Is this okay? Do you just want me to do this after each 2 episodes? As we watch the people fall off the show, as we extrapolate the reasons why. Why do you think someone's going to go? When you watch this as a male or female, you can see it's not so much about gender, but there is a physical difference. Right? Strengths and weaknesses. Team. But the strong people can only lift for the weak so long before they actually have depleted their energy, and they call this performance-based punishment. Okay, where you are punishing yourself by making up for the weakness of those around you. Before you know it, you're weaker than them and you can't go on, or you're injured and you literally fail because you took up too much slack of others around you. B. Stubbs. G'day, Kaz, Lauren, Rob, Carl, Breddy. The course of magnificent team. 6-3 Yankee. Sniper. Howdy, Stubbsy. G'day, everyone. TV isn't real. Stickman, this is very real for those inside it, mate. Believe me. Believe me. You know, one of the hardest things you'll ever do in the Australian Army is actually do mill skills. Mill skills, you will do normally 40 stands, you know, over 4 or 5 days. And there'll be stands where you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's coming up next. It might be physical. It might be shooting. It might be navigation. It might be an attack. It could be an ambush. It could be a QDE, quick deduction exercise. It could be any one of things. But in that 40, that packet of 40 condensed into 4 or 5 days, it is extreme. You'll do that as a section, or you'll do it as a section and an individual component. Most Western Force armies do it, and it is bloody hard. What do we got? Yeah, it's good, Kaz. I enjoy hearing your perspective. I find you put things into words and pick up things others miss. Well, honestly, man, after living this for 24 years, this is what my life was like. Okay? There is no forgiveness for non-team players. At the end of the day, every time you've got a little bit of energy left, you need to give it to others. That's why we say to people to make sure that you are physically prepared, because if not, then you'll be carried the entire time and you'll be seen as the score in the relationship. And you don't want to be seen as that. Sage, I think it's crucial that we learn from others' mistakes. Absolutely. Key words. Would suspect a breakthrough on why they failed. And you know what? When this show is over, when they pull out, they'll go, oh, shit, I could have stayed longer. What have I done? But in conclusion to this, you've got Ant Middleton, the angriest short man. I think he's 5'8", who's getting into these people and speaking to them in a way they've never been spoken to before, inside their personal closeness, like is happening here, like has never happened before. This is fighting words to any male. A female might back down a bit. You do that in a man's face, he's got two choices. Roll on his back, show his belly and submit, or two, push your back, start throwing punches straight away. That's the only two real options you've got. Okay, and I know in the army, if I get close to your face like that, there's a chance that I might cop one on the beak as well. Because you're pushing boundaries. You're going tribal. Okay, so he's going to give that to them. He's going to make the staff enemies of the contestants to force them to have a common goal, which is the mission, which is getting through this, helping each other by number. From there, it doesn't matter if they like each other. They might have gone in there with predisposed thought processes on each other. But they've got to put that aside. They've got to stick together. Because it didn't matter who they used to be, it's who they are now. There he is. Sam Burgess, suffering. That's because he's got a nose like Kaz. Ace. It keeps going. This is a great insight. You should be part of the show, Kaz. If I went on there now, holy shit, I'd fall apart like a piece of thrown Lego. Oliver, grey man is a grey man until they are known as the grey man. And sometimes a grey man can be known as a jack man, because then the right people always have to come up and put their hand up. And that's the reason why we have candidate numbers and student ID and numbers. And why I say when you go to Kapuka, the best thing you can do is identify the brothers and sisters that are in your section. And every night you should, only one day only, you should be in that section. You should say, Brady, Lauren, Jay, Nicole King, Stubbsy, Keely, Paramore, Josh, and Tinfoil Hat. Good to have you here, mate. Me too. Hashtag me too. Everyone sit on the chair. Today, I am the leader. I take responsibility for making sure that none of you leave your locker open, that we make it to where we have to go, that we come first in everything we do. We are better than these sons of bitches in every other section, and everyone needs to know that 2 section is the best section. Tomorrow, who's going to step up and be the boss of the section? And then that goes through, so it means everyone gets mobilised. Everyone has to come out of their shell and show a version of who they are, have to grow mentally, physically, and be able to throw out that authority, step up to the plate, so to speak, become part of the crowd. And then they all know what it feels like to be at the bottom, all know what it feels like to be the person at the top of the section that doesn't seem to be able to do anything right, that gets their ass kicked for those that below them until they all play the game as a team. I recommend that to you. And then say, what did we do wrong today? What did we do well? What are we going to do tomorrow? And no matter what it was, now put that behind us. Wipe the screen clean again. Let's go again. That's how you do an AAR team. Great man. Joshy Fawns, Ant Middleton is big for his height. Short people always are, man. They're stocky, short levers. They're always angry too. Hashtag me too. Mr. Buckery refused to watch the show full of ex-crims, drugs, supplies and grubs. I watch it for... Are you talking about the battalion or are you talking about this show? No, mate. Mr. Buckaroony, he's a prison guard, cop, soldier. Done it all. I see this as what I've called it is a rolling rehabilitation. That's what I see it as. Rolling rehabilitation. I know where Mr. Bucko's coming from. Ant Middleton also has a very checkered past. Punched out a female police officer, I believe, in the UK. It wasn't pretty. Brady, Why would you go through all the drama to enlist just to be a grey man? Well, some people are. It's group dynamics. Some people just are. You know, but a grey man is always the guy that speaks the most when they've had a beer for some reason. I didn't do that, Mr. Buckaroo. YouTube is automatically held for review. I don't know what that was about. Steve Webb, how's the new computer, Mr. Buckaroo? Look at him. It's gone to his head now that he's retired, hasn't it? If you haven't been to Mr. Buckaroo's channel, you need to get over there, team. Fantastic. So, guys, let's have a look at the... we'll turn this off for the moment. Bam. Oops. Bam. There's our crew. Let's look through it again. You may know who the people are, you may not. All right. We've got the Kobe Aberden. Okay, he's up there as our right marker. We've got Bonnie Anderson, Sam Burgess, Isabella Cornish, Bryn Edelston, already gone, Dan Ewing, home and away, Manu, we know, Aaron Holland, gone, Emma Hassar will be gone soon, Jet Kenny, Alicia Mollick, Pete Murray, Jessica Peris, Mark Philippoussis, Yana Pittman, Kerry Pottast, Heath Shaw, and John Stevenson. Some of these guys are great, but that's because the cameras made them so they'll step out more as they stay longer in and the cast gets smaller. Tonight's going to be a great one. I love seeing it, to be able to reflect on what my career was like. Been in a lot of these positions. I don't remember ever quitting something. I remember standing on a rappel tower at the 2nd 4th Battalion with the overhang with Donald Trump, also known as, I won't say his name on here, where we both had to, because we were both scared of heights. You know, if you go in and say, hey, I'm scared of heights, do you reckon they look after you? Absolutely not. No. What they'll do, when they hear this...
I can't do it, Squid.
Okay, what's going to happen is they're going to go, awesome, rub it in. And then they get people like me who talk too much and they go, set him up for forward rappel instead. And there is something weird. It's not like being on a mountain. It's easy to rappel off a mountain, forward or backward. But when you're on an overhang on a fire tower and you're going to lean out and then feel that slack as you fall, knowing that if you don't fall far enough, you're going to come back and slam your coccyx right into the ledge. Yeah, you got to do the right thing. And that took me 40 minutes, and it took Donald Trump a few minutes after me. Stevie Webb, Lauren, Magnifico, what is it, a lazy thing, Brady? Not sure what that's about. Stevie Webb, hi Lauren, just had some delicious frogs, fallopian tubes, and maggots cheese for dinner. What the hell? I heard you were just on Lauren. Is that the menu for tonight? Jay Magnifico thought he was more like a dark horse, if you know the term. I'm not sure. Stevie Webb. Guys and gals, I love these shows. Last night I actually got anxiety to the point that I had like a little nightmare because of that tube that Sam Burgess had to crawl down. It was bloody disgusting. There is nothing worse than being in a work position. I know Mr. Bucko would have been in this situation before, where you know you're about to face one of your worst phobias, or you're about to be horribly tested and you know you're being watched and you've got to pretend that everything's A-OK. Boom, the diver's signal for it's okay. Tasmanian Devil. Hi, Kaz, how have you been? I've been good, mate. How have you been? You two-headed rascal. Lauren, we had a fun stream this afternoon. It's good to hear. Streaming is a good way to go. Sorry this one feels like it's a bit manic at the moment, team, but I just wanted you to know, okay, that the breakdown from this, it's not just as it seems. It's not just a show, because there's real ramifications for these people and the way they're going to be looked at for the rest of their lives after this show, because everyone forgets everything else they were in. A lot of the time, these people, the first time they've ever been seen by young people is what they're doing right now. Yep. You're going to have live tests. You may not get a chance or a platform to be allowed to say, I stuffed up. This is what I did wrong. I'm not asking you to give me a second chance. I just want you to hear from the horse's mouth the truth or the fake news. This is who I am now. Yep. So in summary, guys and gals, I hope in your life of tests that you don't look back and say that I don't feel like I've ever been tested, because that'd be goddamn sad. That might mean you've never lived at all. We had a great conversation with a young lad today whose friends do not have faith in him joining the military. He wants to join the Navy. Okay, and they work in retail and other jobs, and you're thinking, why would you hold your friend back? Maybe he needs to upsize from those friends, replace them one for one, and be around people that do believe in him. Maybe this is his chance to do equivalent to SAS Channel 7, Who Dares Wins. Ant Middleton won't be there, but he gets to replace himself with who he wants to be, not who he used to be, and surround himself with others that think alike, that are going to help him for mission success, etc. So in this life, team, in this life, you need to know when to hold them. Okay, you need to know when to fold them, when to run away or walk or run. But always put a hand out and help those that need it when they do, because their hand might be the next thing that reaches out to you. And remember, every time you say this, people will remember
I can't
who
do
quitters
it.
are.
I can't do
Don't
it,
be a quitter.
Squidward.
All right, team, take it easy. I'm sorry that this wasn't a more inclusive with you stream, but I'm about to go and watch the next episode now. Thank you very much. I can't even hear what I'm saying on here because I need to get headphones, but there's no shops open. Keep yourselves entertained. Keep yourselves in a position where you help those around you. And guys and gals, thanks for sharing a bit of this time today. And when in doubt, start researching QPM. Whew! All-time high today. Thank you, ASX. And thank you